forward.
Thank you. You had actually been asked a question earlier about the RCMP, and you started talking about how the RCMP would be dealing with unfounded cases, which is something that's been the subject of quite a bit of scrutiny. And I was hoping perhaps you could give us a better sense of what will be the RCMP doing, what is the funding in the budget going to do to help address those unfounded cases?
When this issue burst into the public domain some months ago, I was encouraged by the way a number of police forces responded to say this category of unfounded was too large, and we had to get to the bottom of it and find a better way of dealing with this whole issue, because no one who has been subject to sexual violence should feel in any way inhibited or limited in their ability to come forward, to be respected, to be treated in a serious manner, and not just brushed aside. Various police forces looked at how they were doing things, and they looked for international experience to how they might improve their conduct and their procedures and so forth. The RCMP has been particularly proactive, and there is additional money now in the budget to assist them in the work of making sure that all of this previous activity is properly reanalyzed, and that the right kind of procedures are put in place for the future, so that there can be perhaps different kind of reporting protocols, different ways in which the statistics are presented, so that no one has the sense or the reality of having been brushed aside. And because this is, I think, the last answer, and perhaps Dan DeBoe's last opportunity, let me just ask the acting commissioner to make some observations on how the force has responded to this.
So thank you, Minister. So the force responded, as the Minister said, at the first instance we pulled in the one-year files. We did a review of all our files. We had all our divisions actually reach into every one of the files that we had marked as unfounded, to make sure that the investigation was done properly, to make sure that when we did have one of the victims come forward, that we treat them with respect. Based on that, we were able to analyze that some of them were just misreported as unfounded, but where we thought there was gaps, and this is from Ottawa too, where we had an overview of this, we actually asked that they be re-looked at and reopened, and that we actually reached out back to the victim to ensure that we actually had done the full investigation. There's several of those investigations still ongoing on those files, to make sure that we did treat our individual respect. We're also incorporating some training around that, and how we approach our cases and how we approach our victims, so that we understand that it's a traumatic event for anybody, and that we approach them with the respect and courtesy that they need as they come forward.
And I want to thank you for that, because the training piece to me as a going forward basis, so that we don't keep perpetuating this problem, is essential. And so I'm happy to see that, and I would love to hear more as you move along with that project as to where you're at.
Some really interesting ideas have been forthcoming from the discussion. For example, are there ways of providing reporting avenues or mechanisms that don't involve a formal police procedure? Is there a way that you can better collect the data by providing alternative methods of reporting? Or in the way you report the data, is it founded or unfounded? Do you need a third category that says founded but not yet proven according to evidentiary standards and so forth, so that someone just doesn't automatically fall into the unfounded category because you don't have an answer yet?
Thank you.
There are various ways that we have to look at this, but I'm pleased with the momentum that has been built up across the country.
Thank you, Ms.